Well, it's that time of year again when Geoff Keighley hosts Summer Game Fest and comes out on stage dressed in a bizarre outfit, and we will get to see a bunch of new announcements. I've seen a lot of discourse about how this year's Summer Game Fest was a bit of a disappointment, combined with last year's Game Awards, and I can't disagree with that. It has been very slow. I think even Geoff Keighley said not to expect too much, but we got some good announcements, and we got some gems, actually, that I want to talk about. So this video is all about the highlights of Summer Game Fest and all of the good stuff we can look forward to. So I'm going to go through my list of all the best games that we saw at Summer Game Fest. So first up, we have Cozy Grove 2. It's the sequel to Cozy Grove 1, obviously, but that came out in 2021. It's a life sim game about camping on a haunted, ever-changing island, and as a spirit guide, you have to help the local spirit community by completing quests for them and building new structures on the island. In the trailer for Cozy Grove 2, we see the main character hug a spirit bear and gather, craft, cook, and you can catch butterflies and fish like in Animal Crossing. And it's basically Animal Crossing meets Spiritfarer, if anyone has played that. You can adopt animals, you can gain companions. I think the most shocking surprise about Cozy Grove 2 is that at the end of the trailer we see that it says pre-register now, but it's mobile only for Apple and Android. And then after they announce that, it says that it's available exclusively for Netflix members. So this is, we're finally seeing the Netflix exclusivity come to the fore and actually snap up some games. So yeah, it's going to be available for Netflix members soon. But looks good. Cozy Grove 2 was a surprise. Probably one of the most interesting, there was a lot of leaks before Summer Game Fest, and I think, this wasn't on there. So this is interesting if anyone wants a cozy game where that's a bit like Animal Crossing, where you just do some objectives every day, then this is a good one to pick up. So next up we have No More Room in Hell 2, which was a real surprise. The first game was a mod, and it came out in 2011 at the height of the zombie craze. I remember playing it a lot with friends, and it was very good, but it was contained. It was like a wave shooter where you're in a shopping mall or different locations, and you have to hold off the zombies. But this one looks way different. The graphics actually look amazing in No More Room in Hell 2. The trailer shows players raiding a gas station and hordes of zombies appear out of the darkness. The trailer told us that it's a massive open world with a replayable map, which, if you look in the background, there's a sort of city and the suburbs of a city, and it's 8-player co-op, which the first game was 8-player co-op. However, this one has permadeath, so all of these things leads me to believe, obviously, that we're not just getting a wave shooter zombie game. This one kind of looks maybe like Escape from Tarkov, but with zombies and not PvP. So, like a kind of looter shooter extract type game, if it has permadeath. That'd be very interesting. That's kind of very popular lately with like Grey Zone and other games like that. So very interesting, and early access is Halloween 2024. So not long to wait. This one looks good. If you haven't played the mod, it's free. Go check that out on the Steam store. Then you'll probably actually be more excited for No More Room in Hell 2, which is coming out 13 years later. We really need to talk about LEGO Horizon Adventures. This one looks interesting if you're into LEGO games. It was somewhat ruined by the leaks that came out before Summer Game Fest, and yeah, the trailer looks good. It kind of looks like any other LEGO game, right? It's got humor, it's Aloy. In the trailer you can see that you still change outfits and, embark on adventures against the robot dinosaurs and all of that good stuff. It looks quite open world, which has been a trend for LEGO games recently. So yeah, it's coming out on PS5, Switch, PC, holiday of this year. No Xbox though, which I wouldn't expect it to, as it was a PlayStation exclusive. However, the fact that it's coming to Nintendo Switch is very interesting. because it shows that Sony is loosening their grip on the exclusives a little bit. But yeah, still not going to Xbox. So interesting one to watch. Another Lego game, but Horizon. So if you like both of those, then play it. So Harry Potter Quidditch Champions is a game. In the trailer, we see Weasley's Crooked House. You know, the little Weasley people. I'm not really sure what to think. So this one, there's goods and bads. So the bad is this. All we've seen so far is CGI, like really bad, weird CGI trailer type graphics. With, you know, it shows all the Harry Potter crew there and Ginny narrating it and being all Quidditchy. The thing is, I can see this becoming my Splatoon, right? Where it looks kind of like a childlike and silly and stuff, but actually at its core, it might have a, you know, if there's competitive Quidditch, then that's gonna be insane, and I could see a lot of people getting addicted. However, we still haven't seen gameplay, and that brings me to the fact that it comes out September 3rd, luckily on all platforms, and it says available day one with PS Plus. So Sony is taking a page from Xbox's book and, you know, bringing the game, giving some PS Plus users some perks for once instead of TV and movies. But yeah, this one, I mean, you know, hopefully we'll see more gameplay considering it's a couple of months away and we've seen no gameplay, so worrying. Sid Meier's Civilization 7. It's going to be a problem. A big problem for my social life and my sleeping pattern. We didn't really get to see much. The trailer is just, you know, one of those trailers that is all artistic and, you know, no gameplay, not even CGI. There's just some voiceover from the characters and the leaders of the nations, but, you know, we've got a 2025 release date. That's good, at least, you know. Maybe next year we'll be playing some Civ 7, and I'm really excited for it. Because if anyone's played Civ before, they know that you'll find yourself up at 4 AM, you know, trying to invade India because Gandhi's just nuked you, and yeah, great game. Looking forward to it. Civ 7. Another of the best announcements from Summer Game Fest is Space Marine 2. Now, we already knew that Space Marine 2 was a thing and coming out. The trailer lets us know September 9th is when it releases. And it's pretty epic. It's pretty epic. It's got some crazy music, and yeah, we see Space Marines cutting through Tyranids because why not? You know, Tyranids being like your alien, Xeno, Zerg style bug monster enemy things. And it says, you know, play with or against other people, like your friends. So obviously they've made a big shout and dance about the co-op element that's going to be in the game. But yeah, I'm interested to find out what the PvP is going to be. There's going to be another event soon. So yeah, Space Marine 2, not long to wait for that one. Some of the best announcements from this year's Summer Game Fest have actually been from indie devs about indie games. And Deer and Boy is one of those, and perhaps maybe my low-key favorite. So from the trailer, we see that, you know, a deer loses its parent, they die, and the boy finds the deer, you control the boy, and it seems to be like a platformer where you have to progress and seemingly solve environmental puzzles with the help of the deer. You know, in the trailer we see you like the boy pushing a deer through a little grate to open a door, and yeah, it seems like one of those. It kind of has cutesy graphics, really nice kind of indie soundtrack, and there's no release date on this one, but you can wishlist it. I think it's on Steam, so yeah, looks like a cute, fun, sad indie game that'll make you feel things, and it's definitely one to keep an eye on because, yeah, one of the better looking games from Summer Game Fest. One game that I was surprised to see so much of so quickly was Come Deliverance 2. It's set in medieval Poland and Eastern Europe, and it's, you know, if you didn't play the first one, because the first one was kind of janky, it's kind of like Skyrim, but set in the real world. If it's first person, if you kind of, yeah, very gritty, you have to basically do everything. You select which direction your sword swings from and which direction to block, and has a huge life sim aspect to it. The first one was received well, but it required a lot of updates. It was kind of too big for the time, you know, the PS4 and the Xbox One. It was a bit too ambitious, and it wasn't very well polished or funded, but I'm pleased to say that the sequel looks very polished, probably due to the first one's popularity. They've added a bunch of humor in. It just looks like the first one, but, you know, actually probably done and on steroids. So, yeah, there's a 2024 release date on Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. We'll be getting it in the next 6 months, which is extremely surprising. I don't even know how to begin talking about Killer Bean. You seem to be a coffee bean. I think that's the kind of bean you are, because of the little butt groove. But anyway, you're a bean, a coffee bean assassin, and you have to take down the Shadow Agency. But it's a massive... I mean, there's just jokes everywhere in the trailer, but, you know, apart from that, it actually looks like quite a fun and hilarious game. There's bullet time and slow down, and you can bounce bullets off of other bullets, and yeah, you're a coffee bean Max Payne, I think? Question mark. So I think we should count this amongst the best, highlights of Summer Game Fest, because I don't know, games with personality these days are becoming few and far between, and you know, most devs just pump out the same old stuff, so we should really praise Killer Bean. Ken is a really interesting game. It kind of looks like a cel-shaded Jusant from Don't Nod, where it's all about mountain climbing, and we kind of, in the trailer, see the character climbing mountains and all kinds of weather with some chill music, and I'm not sure if the point of Ken is just to climb and conquer the mountain like in Celeste, because yeah, we see the character's legs shaking, and we see, you know, using there's different tools on their backpack and stuff like that. There's no release date, so yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't know if there's a story behind this one, or, you know, the story is one of just kind of, you know, conquering an objective and things like that. But it's one definitely to keep an eye on. And again, from an indie developer, I think the most interesting kind of artistic games are coming from indie developers this year. As you can see, how many are on this list of Summer Game Fest highlights? It's just crazy. We really need to discuss Dune Awakening. The trailer looks good. The game, you know, we find out in the trailer, is set in a kind of alternate universe where Paul Atreides is never born, and his mother has a girl instead, and the Fremen are dead, and there's a lot of, you know, Funcom have clearly kind of laid the ground for something interesting and new, so we don't just retread the same story in the movie and the books. But this is, you know, was announced 2-3 years ago now, and, you know, it's a open world survival MMO. You know, Funcom did this with the Secret World and things, so they have a track record of making good games like this. But again, we just saw CGI trailers, so there's no release date still. There's no teaser for release date, really. It's gonna be, I'm hoping for the best. It looks good, definitely a highlight, because, I mean, open world survival MMO in Dune, I mean, that's crazy. But yeah, it would be good to hopefully get some more gameplay soon. So our last game that we really need to talk about, as probably the major highlight of AAA, is the shadow drop of the Alan Wake 2 DLC, Night Springs. It's split into 3 episodes with 3 playable characters, which is Rose, the, you know, woman who works at the diner who's obsessed with Alan Wake, and you then get to play as Jesse Faden from Control, and then the sheriff from Alan Wake 2, but who is also Sean Ashmore from Quantum Break, whatever is going on there, because he's a kind of time traveler. But it looks weird, wacky. It has Sam Lake's love for coffee in it. There seems to be some kind of coffee boss who's looking for coffee. I don't know. It's crazy, but yeah, you know, if you bought the deluxe edition of Alan Wake 2, you get this. Drops June 8th, so it's already out. Absolutely crazy. Looks really good. Alan Wake 2 was really good. So yeah, that's the highlight of this one. And that kind of brings me to wrap up what we're talking about here with Summer Game Fest. I think it is a bit of a letdown. I watched a video from Mr. Matty Plays, and where he, kind of discusses this a little bit. And it's true. I mean, this is not an exhaustive list of, this is what I consider the highlights. We saw some other things like, Wukong and stuff, but you know, it's difficult because these are the games that grabbed me, and if you look at most of them, they're either like kind of niche games, like No More Room in Hell 2, or they're kind of indie games for the most part. And that's kind of where the industry is at the moment. There's no kind of big, interesting things to get excited for. I mean, there is some, but the fun new ideas are always coming from the indie stuff. And I think from last year, Geoff Keighley obviously wanted people to wrap it up and like shove them off stage. And I think he's learned and kind of he's dedicated a lot more time to these indie devs to come on stage and talk a bit. And last year was very dominated by huge games like Baldur's Gate and stuff. And this kind of year is, yeah, we're seeing a lot more smaller indie stuff and a lot of stuff we're kind of in limbo. Like with the Dune Awakening MMO and things. So kind of waiting to see. Xbox Showcase, we'll do a video on that. And we'll see Nintendo is supposed to be having a direct in June, but at the moment, no idea when that's going to be. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed. This is all the highlights from Summer Game Fest. Let's see what happens over the summer for the rest of the industry. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
And you'll see that reflected in the show today, because over the next 2 hours, we'll have big franchises on stage like Star Wars, Batman, and Harry Potter, but also smaller titles, including a few games made by single individuals and first-time creators that we invited to be part of this show because we think this platform is important as a way to show you new things that you might not even know about. So when you see a game that piques your interest, please wishlist it, or even better, send it to a friend and get them excited. That's how we together can grow the gaming community. And we are going to do that today over the next 2 hours, as we have a lot of games to show you, plus Day of the Devs directly after with even more indie titles. So should we get to the games? All right, it all begins right now. Here's our first announcement.